Chapter 7, The Bottle of Medicine. Summer vacation was over, and school started with a bang. The bang was on the head of Gilbert Blythe. Gilbert was a handsome boy who liked to tease the girls at Avonlea School. His desk was right next to Anne's desk. Since Anne was new at the school, Gilbert decided to tease her. Anne was busy writing numbers on her slate. In those days, students did not write on paper. They wrote on a slate. A slate was like a small chalkboard. Gilbert Blythe looked over at Anne's red hair. It was almost as orange as carrots. He reached over and pulled one of her braids. "Carrots, carrots," he whispered to her. Anne jumped right out of her desk and stood over Gilbert. She was still holding her slate. "How dare you call me that?" yelled Anne. There was a loud bang. Anne had smashed her slate on Gilbert's head. The teacher, Mr. Phillips, was angry. He marched Anne to the front of the room and wrote on the chalkboard, "Anne Shirley has a very bad temper." He made Anne stand under these words all afternoon. After school, Gilbert tried to talk to Anne. "I'm awfully sorry that I made fun of your hair," he said. "Please don't be mad at me for keeps." But Anne walked right past him and over to Diana. "I will never ever forgive Gilbert Blythe," she said. "And Mr. Phillips spelled my name without an E." By Saturday, Anne was back to her old self again. At breakfast, Marilla said, "Why don't you invite Diana over for tea?" "I'm going to a meeting," Marilla added. "So you will have to get things ready by yourself. I put out some cake and cookies, and you may serve Diana some of my special raspberry drink. The bottle is in the cupboard." "Oh, Marilla, we will have a wonderful time," said Anne. Diana came over for tea soon after Marilla left for her meeting. But the tea party did not have a happy ending. Anne thought that she had found the bottle of raspberry drink, but really it was a bottle of wine. Diana drank so much of it that she became drunk and had to go home. Mrs. Barry, Diana's mother, blamed Anne. "You got my Diana drunk," shouted Mrs. Barry. "You are a wicked child, and I don't ever want to see you with Diana again," said Mrs. Barry. Poor Anne. Now she could not see her closest friend, her only friend, ever again. Anne and Diana both cried and said goodbye forever. In January, there was an important meeting in the next town. If Marilla went to the meeting, she would be gone for 2 days. "You go to the meeting," Matthew told Marilla. "I'll stay home with Anne." Anne spent all day working on her homework. After she cooked dinner, she and Matthew sat by the fire. Anne was still working on her homework. "Gilbert Blythe thinks that he is the smartest student at school," said Anne. "But I will show him that I'm smarter." Suddenly the kitchen door flew open. There was Diana Barry. Her face looked as white as the snow that was on the ground outside. "Help!" cried Diana. "It's my baby sister, Minnie May. She's awful sick. My mom and dad are at the meeting, and I don't know what to do. Minnie May won't stop coughing. I think she might be dying." Anne looked at Matthew. "I'll hitch the horse to the wagon and go get Dr. Spencer," said Matthew. "Anne, you go back to the Barrys' house with Diana." The girls raced through the snow to Diana's house. Anne looked at Minnie May for a few moments. The baby was trying to breathe, but she couldn't get much air. "Don't you worry, Diana," said Anne. "I know what's wrong with the baby. After all, I've taken care of 3 sets of twins. Show me where your mother keeps the medicine." Diana pointed to some bottles on a high shelf. "Up there," she said. Anne dragged a chair near the shelf and then stepped up on the chair. She read the different names on the bottles until she found the one that she wanted. Anne ran back to Minnie May, who was still gasping for air. Anne opened the bottle of medicine and poured a little bit of it into the baby's mouth. Minnie May coughed and choked and cried. Anne gave the baby more and more of the medicine. Then suddenly, Minnie May began to breathe more easily. The girls waited another hour before Dr. Spencer and Matthew arrived. The doctor rushed over to Minnie May's crib and checked her carefully. "Minnie May is going to be all right," said Dr. Spencer. He picked up the bottle of medicine. "You did exactly the right thing," he said. "You girls saved her life." "It wasn't me," said Diana. "Anne knew what to do. Anne is the one who saved Minnie May's life." The next morning, Anne slept late. When she came into the kitchen, Marilla said, "Well, Anne Shirley, Matthew told me all about last night. We are all glad that you knew what to do." "Mrs. Barry was here while you were sleeping. She wants you to come over to her house as soon as you can," said Marilla. "Really?" asked Anne. "Yes," said Marilla. "She wants to thank you for saving Minnie May's life. Mrs. Barry hopes that you will forgive her. She knows now that you didn't try to make Diana drunk." "Oh, Marilla," cried Anne, "you are looking at a perfectly happy person. Now my best friend Diana can be my best friend again."